This episode is brought to you by Mate Affiliates. If you're in the game for the long run, two things really matter: what you earn and who's in your corner. Big commissions are great, sure, but they don't mean much without support. Mate delivers both. Find an affiliate program that's serious about your growth and shows up when it counts. Find that out at mateaffiliates.com.
There's that thin line you cannot cross. Sometimes you can bluff. Without that, it's not possible to close a good deal. But to lie, I'm not sure if there is a space in this industry.
You're listening to the Affiliate Marketing Podcast, powered by Affiverse, ultimate destination for affiliate program news, insights, growth opportunities, partnerships, and affiliate program strategy. Whether you're an advertiser, publisher, platform partner, agency, or entrepreneur, we've got the tools, trends, thought leaders invited here to help you to thrive in the fast-changing digital economy. Today, we're diving into what it takes to create meaningful, high-value partnerships in the iGaming affiliate industry. Now, unlike some of the other industries that my listeners would be participating in, like e-commerce and SaaS, the iGaming space is one of the most competitive markets to work in for affiliate managers, and keeping ahead of growing your affiliate program can become quite stressful. But don't worry, because we've got you covered in this series as we're talking about tips, tools, and tricks of the trade throughout the season about how to build partnerships that last. My guest this week is Alanis Efsinas, an experienced affiliate marketer who has worked across the industry building companies, leading teams, and shaping partnerships that have stood the test of time. In this episode, we explore why mutual trust, ownership, and a clear communication are the true cornerstones of what builds long-term partnership success, and how leaders can better support their partners, teams, and customers themselves. The golden nugget that we kick off with in this episode is changing your mindset to a win-win from the very first conversation with a new partner. So tune in as we discuss how to do that and talk about other tips and tricks that you can take home with you and try in your affiliate program today as well. Welcome to the Affiliate Marketing Podcast, and this week I have Alanis joining me from the iGaming industry to talk about successful partnerships. Now, before we ask Alanis to introduce himself, he has had an immense amount of experience over the last couple of decades in marketing and also in the iGaming industry specifically. And we're talking about building successful partnerships this season, and there's nobody else that I wanted to bring on than this man, because he has built some very successful partnerships working at the GG Media Group, which is a very well-known business in the gaming industry. But we're going to dig into all of his nuggets of wisdom in a very little while. But before we get started, Alanis, welcome onto the show. It is a pleasure to have you here with me this week. Tell us a little bit about how you landed in affiliate marketing. So introduce yourself, give us your backstory, and just get to know my audience a little bit before we get stuck in.
Yeah, thanks for such a nice words. I haven't heard for a while about myself, but I'm in the industry for over a decade, I would say. Yeah. So I'm not sure if we can call ourselves as a veterans of the industry, but might be, yeah. Sounds terrible sometimes, but it is what it is. So it's quite simple in general. I didn't know what is affiliate marketing. I knew what is gambling, but luckily or not, but we are in the iGaming industry, which is, I would say, one of the most, even maybe the most competitive in terms of affiliate marketing, and learn different things here. So this is where we're going to share. But in general, how I land here, so just randomly, I just sent a CV to a company which was named Ibis Media back in the days.
Yes.
And it was an affiliate coordinator position. But back in the days, at that moment, I was already head of sales of a TV show on the medicine in this little Lithuania. I don't know why. I don't know. It's like kind of a sacrifice in myself was, but like I was making there more money than for the position of the affiliate coordinator. But yeah, I was lucky to get my boss at that time, and he was from the micro gaming company back in the days, and he joined Ibis Media, and he invited me. I was so impressed by the industry and the sales pitch, let's put it in that way. At that moment, how cool is affiliate marketing? How cool is iGaming? And this is how I appeared as an affiliate coordinator. Then they realized I'm better as a commercial manager. And then we started to grow different assets there, including SEO assets like Poker News, Casino Smash, and so on. And this is how everything started and got the ball rolling. So then I moved to Matching Visions company, which is quite famous, I would say, in the iGaming market. And after that, luckily, I appeared at GG Group Media. It's only 3 companies, to be honest. So maybe it's dedication call, or maybe it's loving of the comfort zone. I'm not sure, but it is what it is. But I have learned a lot. I'm thankful for that.
Thank you for introducing yourself and sharing your journey as to how you got into affiliate marketing. And the reason why I start our podcast with that first question each week is because everybody comes to this industry from a multitude of different skill sets. And I think that's one of the things that makes this industry so great, is that it's very much a lot of transferable skills. Your expertise, obviously coming from commercial sales, really impacts how we build relationships and partnerships with affiliate partners when we're working in this space. So let's start off with your first question, which is, from your experience, what are the essential elements that make a partnership successful? What are some of the things that you've realized over the decade and a bit that you've been working in the industry that actually makes a successful partnership?
Different things, but what I would, in general, affiliate marketing is about win-win situation in general, like for both sides. It just sometimes brands and affiliates, we are forgetting that both sides, we do have costs.
Where some people think it is just because it's not performance, but yeah, I love that, a win-win situation.
Yeah, so it's costs on both sides. Even it happens usually with affiliate managers who are not that experienced. They are coming, why you don't promote us? So it can be different things, why, like maybe conversion rate, whatever you name it, maybe platform, whatever. But in general, they are forgetting that both sides are having costs, and what we cannot just put a brand randomly, and it has to be built on trust. You cannot risk your traffic. You cannot, especially when now, after all the Google updates, it's becoming less and less. This is also a huge problem, which I think we will discuss a bit later. Yeah. So it's based on trust. So this is what, in negotiation everywhere, you have to build the trust. Not only because in this industry, kind of a myth, or it's a reality that it's all about gambling. It's also being not that far from scams and crypto, this kind of stuff. So trust is very important. I cannot say myself like I'm a very successful everywhere. I had fails as well. I promised one thing, but it didn't deliver, but maybe we delivered in another way. So it happens. So trust is something what you cannot, if you are to stay for a decade here, trust me, you cannot scam people, or sometimes there is a thin line between bluff and lie, right? So there, that thin line you cannot cross. Sometimes you can bluff, right? And without that, it's not possible to close a good deal.
Yeah.
But to lie, I'm not sure if there is a space in this industry.
There's no win-win in lying, is there? Because one of you is always going to be out of pocket. I like that. Everybody that I've spoken to so far on this season in terms of building partnerships has always put trust right up there. But nobody yet has said that you need to enter into a commercial discussion with a partnership or with a partner looking for what the win-win is. And I think when you approach a partnership that way, when you approach a new client, or depends on what side of the coin you're working on, with an understanding that your end objective is not to get a better deal than the other person and be more cutthroat, which often we do want to do because it's a very competitive industry and we're all very sales driven, but it's actually to find what is that middle ground. What is that space where you're making money and I'm making money? Because that's about having a long-term partnership plan. You don't get a long-term relationship with an affiliate who sticks around for a very long time if you're not looking to build a long-term partnership with them. You might get a small win, a short-term gain where you're in a place or a segment that drives short-term traffic. But then if that partnership doesn't exist and continue, you're just driving up your own costs, because next time you have to go find another partner to replace that partner when they leave you. So I read a stat once that there was, I think it's 5 times more expensive to find a new partner that delivers revenue versus 80% quicker and faster to get existing partners to deliver more, who are already established and trustworthy.
It's a real article, like based on stats or something, like from data?
Yeah, I think I sourced it for a talk that I did once. So I guess you got to ask yourself, what kind of affiliate manager are you going to be?
Everyone has to ask himself before stepping in the iGaming industry. But in general, negotiations is not about like negotiating like in the market, right? But it's all about, if you are asking for more, you need to prove that you are worth more. So it's more to find this kind of collaboration at this point. Maybe I have too many traumas working on the negotiating with affiliate managers or being on one on another side. But really, people are forgetting that if you're asking for more, you need to work prove that you're worth more. Going into any deal negotiations or whatever we name it, you need to have rule. Like, you cannot just come and chase for anything you want. You have to prove it. Of course, you can lie once, but the second time, no one will give you a chance, because this industry is very small and people are talking. And being an affiliate manager, you have to talk, right?
Yeah. So let's talk about some of those traumas. Do you want to share a little bit with the audience about maybe a deal that went wrong and maybe dissect why did it go wrong? Because we learn from our failures. That's one thing that I've noticed. The younger generation of affiliate managers coming into the industry, they don't want to fail. They want to get everything right. And they put a lot of pressure on themselves to always do the right thing. But sometimes it doesn't work out the way that you want it to work out, and you learn from those failures. So do you feel like sharing something like that with our audience today? Maybe a big deal that went wrong?
I'm not sure if you can be proud of course not, but it's something you would like to share. Maybe yes, I can, without names, of course. I think when I was on one of the affiliate networks working as a, let's call it senior or whatever, manager or whatever, we closed a deal with one of the biggest nowadays site who were based on streamers. Let's say it's one of the traffic sources, so it's like a streaming, but now they're having huge SEO assets. Just I remember that we closed a deal like 130 plus 30, and they said it's a decent deal. CPA plus rev share, it's a decent deal for Nordic traffic at that time. And it was a deal, no cap, and guys like started to push. And oh my God, like after, I don't remember now exactly how many FTDs was done. Like it was, I would say, I need to check stats again. I have the screenshot till now, to be honest, but it's about 700 FTDs they pushed. And the average deposit was about 30, 40 euros. And then you are in the middle. So like you want to help guys to get money, but then there is an operator who is like,
where's the ROI?
And streamers, not everyone, I don't want to point with finger. They have a bonus abusers, like bonus abusing traffic, but not everyone. Again, they know how to work with that. They work on the retention. They're offering bonuses, even to the same players. I think at that time, no one spoke about incentive. What is incentivized traffic? What is cheap, like bonus, coupon traffic, whatever. And I think it was told in the forum, guys, we need to deposit like 20 or 30 euros to get a giveaway. So it was pushed like that. And after that, I'm trying like, it was lesson number one, put caps all the time. Try to put a cap in the beginning of the collaboration. Let's put it in that way. And then you need to think about the creative way how to get money then, because traffic was there, but there was no indications or whatever that it might go to this way, like to this size of the traffic. It was a totally negative deal. It was a failure.
There was three things to learn from that. One was the commercial negotiation wasn't watertight. So the terms of the commercials weren't capped, as you said. There wasn't a testing period. There wasn't a limited budget that you wanted to spend. You didn't put those caps in place because you entered in with good faith that the partner would actually understand what you were delivering. And on the flip side, it sounds like the brand didn't clearly indicate what they wanted from you in the traffic sources that you were going after. They didn't clearly say, we don't want incentive traffic. This isn't a brand play. It's more of a sales play. We want quality, high value customers, avatars at this, customers at this age, at this level, in this geo. So they didn't put the terms of the deal in place very clearly. And so that led to a misunderstanding, which then led to a bad user experience between both parties, which then led to potentially the deal souring and nothing happening. And the sad bit on that is that there was probably hours and hours of talks, negotiations, a couple of in-person meetings that got this deal off the ground in the first place.
So, and after that, how long it took us to get money? I mean, we got money because we were a good name. It happens, of course, but we had to pay to both sides. And the problem of us was we pay affiliates before getting money. So we're already negative. So we had to find a win-win situation. But having said that, anyway, if that would be only one case which we fail, like that would be like the most successful guy. There are many cases that you ask for a prepayment for some project which you're investing your own money, but you are in a lack of money, you're asking for more. You're doing an exchange, sacrificing the CPA maybe for the future, asking for a prepayment. And I'm risking my name, and I failed projects like this. Some projects are still ongoing. At least you're trying not to tell that it's finished and you will never do again. No, you'll try again. I don't have a story where I cut the project and didn't do that. I didn't, but I don't know, maybe it will happen in the future. I don't know. Hopefully not, but it can happen.
Well, I think that's also a measure of the fact that you've learned early on in your career that building a successful partnership also takes really good communication. So there's 3 things that we've shared with everybody now halfway through this episode. One is coming to the table with a win-win attitude instead of I'm going to win and you're going to lose, or I'm going to get more and you're going to get less. So if you change that mindset when you start the partnership negotiation, it does actually change the outcome. 2 is getting your terms and your caps and everything else really clear and upfront with the partner in the first place, and really having watertight terms and conditions that outline the deal, the actual connectivity that you're going to have with that partner. And 3 is really bumping up your effective communication. If something does go wrong, look at how you can win from the outcome of that and retain that relationship, because it is more expensive to go find new partners than to work with existing ones that are legitimate and are wanting to deliver revenue, but maybe didn't understand how they should do that in the first place. So I think communication really is key in terms of building successful partnerships, but also having education is very important. And the only way that you learn is by making mistakes and or learning from others. And I think education is a big thing that the gaming industry doesn't really spend a lot of money on. They rely on everybody learning through the back of their own mistakes. And actually, it would be great if people invested a little bit more in their own self-development and learning to make the industry better around them. So that's my one pet peeve about why partnerships fail, is because we come into this industry from multiple different channels. Some come from customer support, some come from a marketing background, some come from a commercial sales background. And every affiliate manager has got a different set of skills, that they are not perfect at everything. And realizing that and wanting to be humble and learn from others that have gone before them is really why we started this podcast, is to get people like you on here to talk about what makes a successful relationship and to learn from the mistakes that we've all made. I know I've shared a good few mistakes on this podcast with people before to help them to understand how I've become good at what I do.
What's your biggest mistake?
My biggest mistake was way back in the early 2000s when I was working in the gaming industry, and I actually did a deal for an offline-online campaign that had never been run before. So there was a movie coming out that was all about poker, and I happened to be working for a company called Party Poker back in the day when it was very young and the internet was very new, and we were all figuring out how does it work. And I ended up doing a deal with the producers. I actually flew to LA, flew to New York, had millions of meetings, signed many contracts, really got this deal online that our ads would be played in the cinema, and there would be a URL that people could go and play poker with if they were interested in the movie and finding out and learning how to play poker. So it wasn't a paid deal. It was like a play for free scenario, but it was like a lead generation campaign and was tying in offline and online together. And it had never really been done before. So we put all the checks and balances in place. We had our caps. We knew what the fee structure was, how it was going to be marketed. And for some odd reason, it just flopped, completely flopped. And I think I had something like a CPA, a cost per acquisition, of something like $20,000 per player. It was mad. Again, I really thought I was going to lose my job. Like, I thought, I'm going to walk into the office tomorrow. This campaign just has tanked completely and I'm going to lose my job. And I remember that day, clear as daylight. I walked into my boss's office, and he was an incredibly clever man, had been in online for many years. And he could see on my face that I was just like waiting for the bomb to drop where he was going to go, "You're fired," like Alan Sugar or whatever.
"You're fired. Goodbye."
And he just looked at me and he said, "How do you feel?" And I thought, I better answer this right in case it makes me redundant tomorrow. I said, "I feel absolutely awful and I don't know why this didn't work." And he said, "Well, did it not work?" I said, "I don't know." He goes, "Because, our retention rates are really good. And from the clients that we've seen come in the first few days, they've actually shown really good promise that they're going to become serious poker players, like they're really interested in learning." So he goes, "So let's look at this again in 6 months' time and then say, did you fail?" And as it turns out, thank the Lord, somebody was looking out for me that day, but the campaign eventually paid off, but it took about 18 months, but it did break even. So it was a very long campaign. But what it did was, one, it made me fear that I was going to get fired. It made me never, ever do a deal that I wasn't sure of again. It made me very clearly understand what the parameters of the deal were and why I was doing them and asking the qualifying questions for the next time I was running a campaign. But it also provided the company with a lot of learnings. And they realized how online and offline could come together in those early days before there was like super tech and everything else. And they started to use those learnings from that campaign as well. So a bad thing happened. I nearly thought I was going to lose my job, but in the end, it paid dividends and it actually provided a lot of learnings for them to go and earmark and do really other innovative things. So again, a failure isn't a failure. Depends on how you look at it. And that's the moral of my story.
Can you rate your stress level from 1 to 10 on that day?
It was like 1,000,000%. Because the other thing is I'm South African. So I was living in London and I actually needed to have a visa to work. And I thought, if I get fired from my job, I'm going back to South Africa. There's no visa, there's no job, there's no nothing. And as it turned out, everything worked out in the end. But believe me, from that experience and from being in that hot seat and feeling the pain and the fear of that partnership going sour in the initial early days, it made me rethink and restructure the way that I worked with partners going forward. And I can promise you now that over the course of my career, after that one big humdinger where I thought you were an utter failure at your job, it has stuck with me for life. Like I'm now, 20 years on, and I still can relive that moment when I had to walk into my boss's office and say, I've done a campaign and the CPA is $20,000 per person. Do I still have a job? So you learn through your failures. And I think you need to embrace that and understanding that this is a partnership industry that we work in. It's also working with humans, and humans don't conform to contracts much as you want them to. Things happen, campaigns go wrong, tracking breaks. There's so many variable factors that go into running an affiliate program and being an affiliate manager. But the point is, and I think you made this point right at the beginning, is that you have to remain human and you have to actually look at your partner with an objective outline of what it is that you want them to deliver and then communicate that properly, because that's where often most partnerships fail, is the communication process breaks down and you don't actually know what you're meant to be delivering. And everybody makes mistakes. Don't beat yourself up about it. Sometimes mistakes happen for reasons that you can learn things. Obviously, try and make them measured. Don't go spend your whole budget in one campaign and put all your eggs in one basket. Just think about what makes sense for your business and why are you doing it, and then go in with a win-win mindset to try and make a partnership work. All right, so I want to get into where you see the industry heading, because in the next 2 or 3 years, there's a lot of things that are coming in. We're getting a lot of AI come into play. We're seeing brands try and automate a lot of processes in terms of managing affiliates. What are some of the trends that you're seeing right now that are helping to build partnerships and to build successful programs from an affiliate perspective? Because obviously you've got a lot of experience working both network and affiliate side, but also from the operator perspective.
Mm-hmm. At the moment, especially after the last Google update, it's very hard to predict. Now we see where it moves, and we're not sure where the industry. I will talk about the iGaming industry in general, because affiliation will not disappear in general. It will work one another way. There is no other way to survive. One thing is the AI factor, of course, that Google in general is losing the traffic for now. Yeah. For what we can see for now, Google is losing the traffic versus ChatGPT or AI tools, whatever. Let's say a year ago, when we were worried about why our article doesn't rank, and we were thinking about how to put the authority on our articles, creating fake content writers to create companies behind. Not everyone, of course. Again, whatever I say today, it's not for everyone.
One thing that I think is very important is that brands need to start thinking about the fact that there is no funnel anymore. And that was one of the big conversations, is that you need to be getting your brand and your offers, doesn't matter what industry you work in front of the customer where the customer is at. So there's a cycle of marketing that's happened where it was like outbound, then we did inbound, then we did lead gen, and now we actually can't do that anymore because the funnel doesn't exist. There is no one funnel to get to an offer. There's influencer, streamer, SEO, PPC, paid ad, online, offline. So how do you start to leverage your affiliate partners to actually get your offer where the customer is at the point where the customer is looking for that? And that becomes more complex with marketing. So I think what you're saying there is 100% correct. You need to start innovating, and you need to start looking at multiple different channels as part of your marketing mix, and not putting all of your eggs in one basket with the top SEO affiliates. But traffic isn't cheap. So I think that's the other thing, is it comes back to that very first point that you mentioned on the podcast. You've got to get to the table with your partners with a win-win mindset. What do I need to pay, and what do you need to deliver? And does that match up? And if it does, then we're going to be able to do a long-term deal. And that will, spur retention of that partner and loyalty of that partner. Because believe me, partners have got multiple brands to choose from in the iGaming industry and every other industry, e-commerce too. You really need to position your program and your product as a product and a medium of choice for affiliates. And I'm seeing a lot of things happen in the industry that's building mistrust from, really badly worded terms, which are written by lawyers, but lawyers that don't understand the affiliate industry and don't understand what partnerships actually are. I think we want to get to a point where partnerships matter and where we invest time and energy in the right partnerships, and where we're getting to that table to actually make a partnership that lasts, not just a short-term deal that, spurs sales for a short period of time, because it is becoming more complex and the industry is becoming more difficult to navigate because of those lack of funnels. Like there is no one entry point to get in front of your customer. All right, we're going to wrap this up now. Thank you so much for being on the podcast with me today. It's been a pleasure to have you on this podcast and talk about what makes a successful partnership. I think we've dropped a couple of value bombs, but the one that sticks with me for this episode is get to the table with your partners with a win-win attitude and trying to figure out what that win-win solution looks like for both of you, because that can only lead to a long-term partnership. So, Linus, it's been a pleasure to have you on the podcast today.
Thanks. That was a big pleasure.
Thank you so much for being here, and to all of you for tuning in each week to learn with us.
Thanks again to our sponsor, Mate Affiliates. If you're sending traffic, there's really only one question. Does it convert? Mate delivers industry-proven brands that come backed with lightning-fast platforms, great CRMs, and some serious player retention. That means more value from every click. Find them at mateaffiliates.com.
Are you looking to level up your affiliate program management skills? Join the Affiliate Manager Performance Program, or AMP as we call it, a 12-week mastermind for affiliate program managers. Whether you're a new affiliate account executive just joining the industry or an affiliate manager, the AMP Mastermind offers 12 weeks of insightful video tips, tactics, and strategies designed to help you elevate your affiliate program growth. You'll find new ways of optimizing your outbound affiliate recruitment and program management tactics that have supported million-dollar programs to scale. You'll get inside access to resources, tools, tips, and cheat sheets that will help your affiliate program to scale even more. Access on-demand tutorials each week, coupled with regular virtual Ask Me Anything sessions and a host of other practical resources. You'll fast-track your skills and learn with peers that work in affiliate program management, and you'll find out how to practically apply those learnings to your program or industry. Head on over to affiversemedia.com/AMP, that's AMPP, to join our AMP cohort today.